Hi, this is Dr. Park from Carolina Conceptions, and this is a video demonstrating the egg retrieval procedure that's part of the IVF process. We perform the egg retrievals in a procedure room that's adjacent to the IVF lab, which you can see here on the other side of the window. The patient is currently under anesthesia, and we have an anesthetist that administers IV sedation for this. I'm positioned between the patient's legs, performing a vaginal ultrasound. Attached to the ultrasound probe, there is a needle guide that allows me to safely direct the needle through the vaginal wall and into the ovary. Once the needle's in the ovary, I can move it between the individual follicles. There's a foot-activated suction device that will pull the fluid out of the individual follicles, and that fluid ends up getting collected in the test tubes that you can see here. The eggs are contained within the follicular fluid, so this fluid will be examined for the presence of the eggs. Once I drain all of the follicles from one ovary, the needle is then passed through the other side of the vagina into the opposite ovary, and all of the follicles from this ovary will be drained as well. The procedure only takes somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes to complete, and by the time the patient is waking up from anesthesia, we usually have a complete count for the total number of eggs that we've retrieved. Here is a view from within the IVF laboratory on the other side of the window. While the egg retrieval is being performed, the test tubes that are full of follicular fluid are passed to the embryologist through this space. The test tubes are placed temporarily into a warming block to prevent the temperature from dropping. The embryologist will then take the individual test tubes and pour the fluid into a sterile dish. The fluid in this dish will then be examined under a microscope, and the individual eggs will be collected and saved for fertilization later on in the day.
Hi, this is Dr. Meyer, and we're here in the embryo transfer room, and what I'm showing the patient is a photograph or an ultrasound of her uterus that you can see below the black structure, which is her bladder. We do this in all patients prior to transferring the embryos back inside their uterus. The patients come in with a full bladder. They're a little uncomfortable, but the full bladder allows us to see with an ultrasound down into her pelvis and see her uterine cavity. We try to do this under a